I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time, release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right, good morning. How many people are here for God? Woo! Yeah. All right, so how is everybody doing this beautiful, beautiful day? Let's hear it.
Great.
August, I know already. That's incredible to me. All right, a few announcements. First of all, Marilyn, where'd you get off to? She's way down there. Marilyn, thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful music this morning. Just filling up the neighborhood. Thank you so much for that. So I just invite you to breathe with me right now as we get started here. Breathe a mindful breath and just relax into this beautiful day outside here. Feel the presence of love. Feel that within you. Feel it expanding. And feel your heart warming your body with a tingling, glowing light. And this morning we join together as CSL, merging our lights as one light and expanding our love as one love, focusing joy and peace upon the world as we speak our purpose statement together from this space of perfect harmony right here and right now. So in your handout is our purpose statement. Let's speak it together now. As an intentional spiritual community, the purpose of CSL is to be a living environment for individuals to realize that we are all unique emanations of God, the love intelligence governing the universe. We embody the truth of our oneness with God, and we consciously practice this truth in our everyday life. Through the exploration of new thought, ageless wisdom, and the energy of unconditioned love, we are dedicated to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence in the world.
I will listen. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will listen, Holy Spirit. I will listen. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
And in this quiet place, breathing in the sacredness of this moment, I invite you to join me as I recognize the fullness of Spirit, the allness of creation. Spirit is unconditional love, power, presence, the infinite good, and always available. The Spirit is the flow of life, the source of all creation, and everything is divine expression of this life, always whole, perfect, and complete. And I am one with the Spirit. I am gloriously blessed and fully immersed in this energetic flow of life right now. And as this is true for me, this is true for each and every one of us. For we are each unique individual expressions from the attributes of Spirit, the core of who we are. And I rejoice in this freedom that is our divine right of being. And this is our truth. And I declare that this truth sets us free as we express gratitude for all the divine blessings in our life. We release anything holding us back from demonstrating our magnificence and our freedom. I accept for each of us a greater awareness of our divine nature, a higher consciousness, and a higher consciousness of our truth. And we speak from our truth in word to live fully in wisdom, beauty, joy, power, harmony, and peace. We fully express the unending creativity of life in our word, knowing that we create from infinite possibilities and that our life is created anew in every moment. And for those requesting prayer, Spirit is already active in the request. I accept wholeness and perfection being revealed, and each is guided and directed to a perfect outcome. For each request is an active, spoken request for the good of life to be revealed right here and right now. And this service is blessed by the divine love shining forth from each and every one of us. We are uplifted and renewed from the volunteers' service in music, in the message, in the hospitality, and just being here for each other, shining our light so there is no darkness.
I give thanks for this truth of our freedom to speak, for the freedom to know that our word has power. And I am grateful that this freedom is ours to express freely. And I release this prayer into the law, knowing it is already so. It does not return void, as we join together and declare, and so it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm dying. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul.
I'd like to call your attention to the prayer chest, just behind the sign. If there is something that is bothering you, something that you feel is perhaps interfering with your spoken word, bringing the results that you would like, please leave your request in the prayer chest, and the practitioner will be doing affirmative prayer this week on your behalf. Choosing with integrity means finding ways to speak up that honor your reality, the reality of others, and your willingness to meet in the center of that large field. It's hard sometimes. That's from Terry Tempest Williams. And from Ricky Bowers, Spirit encourages me to be a voice of inspiration. And Ernest Holmes, what you create can be dissolved. If you are cause, you also are the remedy. Take heart in this.
Nice, Lou. Very nice. All right. So here we are, August 2021 already. And we are studying the 10 laws of manifesting according to John Randolph Price's book, Empowerment. We're taking the whole year of 2021 to learn about spiritual empowerment, empowering our lives using spiritual principles. And this month, the spiritual principle, this is the 6th principle, is that true? 7th principle is the spoken word. Okay? So, first of all, let's read out of his book a little bit about what he says about the spoken word. He said, God made individual being, male and female, by the power of the word, and each one of us is a co-creator with God using that same power. Let's see. Most of us do not realize the power of the spoken word, but it is spelled out very clearly in Proverbs. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Every word you speak causes a vibration in the universal energy field, and the effect of that vibration returns to you in direct response to the nature of the word. It is impossible for your words to return unto you void. Okay? In Matthew, it states it this way: by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. The words that you want justified or proved right in the manifestation process are the spoken words of faith that acknowledge that action of spirit. It is the closure to your active part in the treatment sequence or affirmative prayer that we use here. It's the closing part of that. Through your words, which are addressed to you, which is the only consciousness that could possibly restrict your good, you let the manifestation take place and you firmly declare that it is done. It is knowing that you have faithfully done your part, and you are calling on your energy of faith to stand guard at the door of consciousness, to keep that door open for the outpouring of substance on wings of love. When the faith faculty is called into action through the use of the spoken word, it becomes the foundation of your belief system. It takes your words, "it is done," and it responds triumphantly, and it is so, right? And remember that the activity of the faith center causes a chain reaction in the other power centers on the subconscious level to give you even greater authority to shape events and create new experiences in your life. So that's a lot of words there. So let's just break it down a little bit. And we're just going to go over some of the parts that I thought really stood out for me. We're usually taught in metaphysics or self-help or motivational talks or motivational thinking that we use our spoken word to speak something into manifestation. And today I'm asking us to go even deeper than that truth and see the words as John Randolph Price, or see the word, the use of the spoken word, as John Randolph Price describes it here. Our most powerful use of the spoken word affirms our reality in God, okay? It affirms that the truth is we live in God. We live in this energy field. We are born out of it. We are a part of it. It is everything, okay? That, affirming that that's true, is the most powerful use of our word. So instead of speaking things into manifestation, which is okay and works at some level, we use our spoken word to speak or to affirm our faith in God. And then we allow God to be the manifestation itself. Do you see how that's a little more reliable, right? And of course, this will be manifesting at the level of our understanding of it. That's how good God is. Manifests at the level that we can understand it. okay, which is what our vibratory field is, okay, attracting, repelling things at our understanding. So our faith in the action of spirit, living our lives, are the words that we want justified. Anybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So he says, through the words you speak, which are sent only to yourself. That's a super important part there. The words you speak, which are sent only to yourself. Interesting, right? Via your individual consciousness. Through those words, you let your manifestation take place. You allow it to take place. When you firmly declare, even with just the faith of a mustard seed, right? That it is done. Do you see how that faith is so powerful? It is done in God. All things are possible with God, okay? Not in my own small little individual consciousness about what all my opinions, what I think about everything, but with God, okay? When our faith faculty, okay, so Charles Fillmore is real big on those 12 powers of man, and faith is one of those powers. It's a faculty, a spiritual faculty that awakens within everyone, okay? So when our faith faculty is brought into action by the use of the spoken word, it becomes the foundation for our belief system. So as we speak that, we're now in the mindset or the vibration of seeing life from the perception of love instead of fear. We've talked a lot about that as well. The faculty of faith jumps into action as directed by our word and takes the claim made by us. It is done. And then it responds triumphantly and says, and it is so. Isn't that such good news? Right? So in this way, we aren't really speaking something into being, but we are speaking our faith in God and allowing God to bring our good into manifestation. Do you see a difference there?
Huge.
So we want to begin to use our spoken words to build our faith muscles, okay? As we affirm God as our source of life, we begin to feel the truth of our words. And as we speak the truth in our lives, then our best life comes forward for us as the grace of God, right? That manifestation. And it is so, it says. So here's another thing that I think is important to talk about here. Notice I'm speaking about speaking the truth, not necessarily speaking my truth, okay? I think sometimes we mistake our truth for the truth. And I think it's a good idea to know what your truth is, and a very, very good starting point for our physical and emotional healing. But I also think that we must speak the truth if we want to manifest peace and harmony, a more permanent peace and harmony in our lives. Speaking the truth isn't really giving people a piece of my mind. Or telling them just what I think about them, you know. I know there is a place in our personal journey for that work. I do think there is. But I'm talking here this morning about just going straight to the top. Okay? Straight to the universal truth that all, A-L-L, is love. Okay? Or God, interchangeable there. And God can be interchangeable with a lot of words. You can fill in your own, whatever you happen to be working on at the time. Maybe you're working on integrity, or maybe you're working on compassion, or right understanding, or listening. I mean, it can be a lot of things that you can declare there. So going straight to the universal truth that all is love, and knowing that I can only speak what's true for me. So I want to speak the highest truth that I know in every single moment. Boy, does that take awareness, right? It's not easy. And the highest awareness for me can be all is love. I can train myself to think that way. I can bring that up. We're all capable of that, right? It's a possibility. We can do that. Speaking the truth changes us. It takes off our distorted glasses we're looking through. Our personal story is what we look through. And instead we see through the lens of unity and peace. It changes our perception from fear and duality, you and me as separate, to love and unity. We are all one in God. We are all one in that Christ consciousness, that perfect idea of God, right? I say try it. You might like it. Sometimes speaking our truth, and I'm speaking about me and thinking that y'all maybe have the same issues as I do. We're all human here. So sometimes speaking our truth is really just a disguise for staying attached to our own opinions and habits. Right? Sometimes my truth is sneakily snarky. Right? And I may need to go a little deeper within myself to ask for a deeper truth. I'm asking us to strive to rise higher than our own personal truth to that universal truth today. Okay? Let's think about it. Just entertain the idea. I'm talking about that truth out beyond right and wrong, right? According to Rumi. That field where we are all worthy. That field where we set aside the need to be right for the joy of being connected. So let's speak the truth of oneness, which is born out of a mindset of faith in the infinite invisible as our reality. The infinite invisible presence, whose nature is love, compassion, cooperation, sharing, goodness, and grace. Doesn't that just feel better? That feeling of better is the reward of truth. It's a pay-as-you-go universe. The mindset you are now entertaining will be the container, the vibrational container that holds all you give and receive right now in real time. You always get to choose the size of your container. I'm just saying, why not choose a bigger container, an infinite container? Because it's possible, right?
Yep.
So how do we take our speaking the truth to the next level? From the personal to the universal. Well, I do think we have to start where we are. That's the only place we can, is to start where we are, by being truthful to ourselves. Sometimes that's the hardest place to be truthful. Sometimes we're hiding from ourselves, okay? But let me tell you, yourself already knows, okay? Hiding from it is exhausting. It's amazing to me how the truth can lighten you up. Only to yourself. It's not even talking about other people yet, right? Just to yourself. we begin to catch ourselves in the small lies that we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves lies about our life, about our mindset, about our thoughts, and about our beliefs. I read a book once, and you might know it. It's by, I think, Robert Blanton, and it's talking about radical honesty. And I read that book a long time ago, and I finished that book and I put it down, and I am a freaking liar. Right? It was amazing to me how much I was lying to myself, to other people, to life. And I think that that's not always easy to catch. And it's not always easy to admit, but it's freeing and lightening to admit that to yourself only. We're not even talking about anybody else yet, right? So if we are practicing a new thought way of living, which is what we're doing here, by the way, okay, a new thought way of living, we know that thinking or speaking of ourselves as anything other than the fullness of the divine is what? A lie, right? Somewhere within us, we know that. So to speak or even think against that idea is just simply not truthful. Not full of truth. So we begin by telling ourselves the truth and speaking it as much as possible, correcting our errors along the way. That's all. Doesn't have to be a huge deal. Also, we must strive to speak the truth with others. Okay, I'm using the, not mine. The truth with others. This calls for a new level of integrity, calling ourselves out sometimes. But, here's the big but. At the same time, being gentle with ourselves, because truthfully, we just don't know any better, right? Nothing to blame here. We were born into a mass consciousness of lack and limitation. We're born into that, okay? Looking for our way out of lack and limitation, right? So no need to beat ourselves up about our lying. Otherwise, we just stay there, okay? When we catch ourselves or call ourselves out, we can just simply adjust accordingly. We can just simply make a decision right now to start doing it differently, because we know what it does to us when we go back and we beat ourselves up about doing it a minute ago. Just do it different now. Then you can feel better and different now, which is the only time there is now, right? Remember the difference between our truth and the truth, the truth. So I want to just share a few words by Charles Fillmore out of the Revealing Word. Guess what word I'm looking up? Truth. Yep. Okay. So he's got quite a bit about truth. I'm going to pick and choose here a little bit. The truth of God is reality, the same yesterday and today, yea, and forever. Truth abides in fullness at the very core of man's being. As his consciousness or awareness expands, he touches the everlasting truth. What seems new is but the unveiling of that which always has been. Isn't that cool? The basic principle of truth is that the mind of each individual may be consciously unified with the divine mind through the indwelling Christ, okay? The Christ consciousness. By affirming at one-ment, atonement with God mind, affirming it, we eventually realize that perfect mind. We realize that perfect mind, which was in Christ Jesus, where Jesus got the name Christ, Jesus Christ. Jesus living in the Christ consciousness opened the way for us to realize the Christ consciousness by his knowing the Christ consciousness, right? One more thing here. The straight and narrow path along which Spirit directs. He's talking about the road of truth. He's got the road of truth. The straight and narrow path along which Spirit directs and which proves so smooth and safe that one refuses to allow oneself to be misled by habit into trusting sense perception. Oh, Charles.
Charlie.
So I'd like to share with you today a few practical things that we can do now, starting today, to help us become more truthful at every level, okay? Just a couple things here. Self-observation. This is big. On the road to mastery of yourself, there needs to be self-observation, and it needs to be non-judgmental, okay? Observe how you respond or react to others, okay? So as you're speaking and such, and even not when it's actually easier when there's not any triggering going on. Somebody brings something up. Just observe. Don't make any opinions about it either. Maybe just, that's interesting, okay? Observe. Take notes on how you handle things that challenge you. Okay, just taking notes here. Not so you can beat yourself up, but so that you can change and adjust accordingly. Okay? We make a plan to build a house, right? We should also make a plan to build our faith as well. And a well-executed plan includes research and feedback so we can correct course when necessary. So honest observation of our own behavior is where we get our feedback. It takes awareness, a getting out of my personal pity party and taking steps to create a larger me. Sometimes we get feedback from other people. Anybody get feedback from other people? And last week I said, what other people think of me is none of my business. It doesn't matter. I stand by that. But on the other hand, because here we are on earth in duality and there's always two, right? So on the other hand, I can learn a lot about myself if I can humbly consider how others may see me. Other people have an uncanny way of pointing out what we are afraid to see in ourselves. I'm just saying a thorough research into that feedback may be in order. It may be kind of like that metaphysical 2x4, if you know what I mean. All right? If it rings true, humbly correct course and adjust. That's all. And we can even thank them. In our own mind, we don't have to go speaking to them this. We could even thank them for providing us some opportunities for growth along our spiritual path. Those are possible, right? A path, our spiritual path, which is ever evolving upward and expanding, including all, affirming all, connecting all in the Christ idea of divine mind, which Jesus was so good at. So another way here, we have self-observation, and of course you knew I was going to say this. We can use prayer, meditation, and contemplation to exercise our faith muscle, which will grow as a strong foundation of love and truth within us, giving us the confidence that we can handle any and all challenges that come our way. Wouldn't that be relieving? Knowing the truth by practicing these methods will set us free from our fear. When we are free from our fear, we are free to see life as it really is. A flowing river of living intelligence, compelling us to join in the flow and become more for ourselves and more for each other, for the glory of this thing called life. This life is a smorgasbord of infinite possibilities, each one complete and worthy in divine mind. We realize that the higher truth of our oneness mindset, all are one, leads us to the peace and grace of this infinite intelligence living our life for us. It is then that we are assured, and we can say with assurance, it is done. Right? It is done. The will of God, which is oneness, love, harmony, is already done and complete in our lives. We claim it is done with the spoken word, and the universe responds by saying what? And it is so. And so it is. Sorry. Trying to trip you up there. So don't be afraid of seeing the truth and speaking your faith in that truth. Florence Scovel Shinn says, our word is our wand. The question is, what are you creating with your wand? Chaos or harmony? Are we sending forth love or fear with our word? And I just want to tell you a grandson story. Is that okay?
You bet.
So I thought it was a great story of speaking faith. Okay, the truth of faith. And I was with Zeke. Roy and I have him quite a bit, and we were playing. I bought him a park ranger hat from Mesa Verde, and he just loves it. But first we used to play cowboys. Now he's a cowboy park ranger. And I'm always have to play the girl part, and he calls me a cowgill. I'm the cowgill park ranger. And so we're playing in the hut, and we were also babysitting his dog Sheldon, the little poodle. Some of you know Sheldon. And we were all in the hut, which is away from the house, and Poppy Roy was there too, and we're playing. And Zeke wanted something out of the house, and he wanted me to go get it, and he wanted the dog and Poppy Roy to stay with him. And I actually was thinking that the dog would maybe throw a fit if I left, because he's a poodle, and you know how they are. And so I said to Zeke, I said, well, how about Cowgill Park Ranger takes that dog with her, and he'll protect me as I go up to the house. You know, we were all talking like this, and then he looks at me and he says, Granny B, Jesus is in your heart. Jesus will protect you. You don't need a dog. Yeah, it's a 4-year-old.
Out of the mouth of babes.
That just got me. You know, he's right? So anyway, I love that story, and you know, he has a million of those things going on all the time. So I'd like to offer this song about staying in faith by living in the heart of God. So here we go.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
Thank you, Tamara. Beautiful again, as usual. So I would like to end with a couple of quotes from Brené Brown. She says, "Faith is a place of mystery. We find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of fear of uncertainty." She also says, "When we deny our story, it defines us. When we own our story through honesty, we can write a brave new ending." Okay, so let's be brave enough to speak truth to ourselves first and then to the world. Thank you.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every starshine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. In your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I am, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Okay, now as the ushers come forward, this is our opportunity to consciously participate in the law of circulation. So if you'll take your gift, your tithe in your hand, and just know with me that from that truth of abundance, where I am totally blessed every day, I consciously show my faith as I contribute to the law of circulation, as I release and I let go, knowing it is circular and comes back to me multiplied. And our affirmation, my God is a God of plenty.
Such a state of grace.
to live in such a holy place, such a holy place. What a sacred love is holy right now.
And from the bounty of our blessings, these blessings are gratefully received as they go forth, enhancing our life, the life of our church, our community, and the life of the world. And so it is.
I want to put one more plug in about the prayer chest, which is right behind the sign on the table. There are prayer request forms. You can put a prayer request in for yourself. You can put a prayer request in for anyone you want, okay? So you can put their name on that and the good that you desire for them. And what happens to that, these are all confidential. Our licensed practitioner, Lou Kunzelman here, she will take those home with her, and then on her spiritual time, she will do her meditation and prayer, claiming on your behalf the good that is already yours or already the person who is on that prayer request. She's claiming that good to be so right now. And what does the universe say then? And so it is. Okay, see how powerful that is? Using her spoken word. So I encourage you to do that if you have a challenge, or if you have a new adventure, or if you just want to get in on some juicy stuff from Lou. So put a prayer request in there. Thank you, Lou, for doing that for us too. Okay, so in your handout now, you're going to need your handout for these last few parts. We have all new statements, affirmative statements, claiming our good, okay? And what we're trying to do in these affirmative statements is learn a new language, an affirmative language, the language of new thought. We all know the language of the world, don't we? And so in making statements and repeating them to ourselves in certain language and word helps us to learn a new language, a language of new thought, a language of affirming the living spirit living in and through us. So look over those. Does everybody have them there? And we're just going to read them together all the way down. And by the time the fourth, I think there's 5 Sundays in August. By the time that 5th Sunday comes, we're going to be like shouting them to the neighborhood. So let's go down all the way. And then you will need the closing affirmation. After the closing song, we'll speak the closing affirmation together as well. So keep your paper handy. And I know that there is a place to return these programs if you'd like. Back here, Donna made a place that you can return them and come back next week and have it here. But you also could take it home for extra credit, homework with God. So, okay, here we go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, all the way down. My happiness is God's business. Therefore, no one can interfere. I banish the past and now live in this wonderful now, where happy surprises come to me each day. Every person is a golden link in the chain of my good. God utilizes every person and every situation to bring me my heart's desires.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be.
Okay, here's that last closing affirmation. Here we go. I have perfect confidence in God, and God has perfect confidence in me.
There are few things I do when my life falls apart.
Hi guys. How are you?